Well, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to do a mochila bag bottom, the round mochila. And I am going to show you with an example of this one. So how you can do the increases, where you can place them in a simple pattern like this, how do you start the mochila, and also how do you change the colors. This is a tutorial of a mochila bag with a round bottom with 12 increases. I encourage you, if you are a beginner at the mochila bags, to start with 12 increases because it is easier to work with and it will not cup. So if you are interested on knowing all these details about this technique, just keep watching. But first I want to invite you to follow me on my other social media platforms like Instagram and like Facebook. And if you are interested on mochila patterns, I have an Etsy shop, so you can help my work over there as well. And if you are new, I hope you're considering to subscribe. So without further ado, let's just get into the tutorial. For this project, I'm going to use 100% mercerized cotton. I know that a lot of mochilas are also made of some kind of acrylic, but I think that the cotton will keep the bag or any project that you do for a longer time. And also it can wash very well. So I do recommend the cotton, and it's very easy to work with, especially 100% mercerized cotton. So the parameters of this kind of cotton are 50 grams. It is recommended 2.5 to 3.5 mm hook, but actually I work with a 2 mm hook because I want my work to be nice and tight. Also, another parameter that you have to check when you get your mercerized cotton, you have to know that these 50 grams have to be around 125 meters length. If it's lower than this, like 110, it means that is too thick, and if it's higher than that, it means that is too thin. So it's up to you. Of course, you can also work with some kind of thread. I have made different kind of mochila clutches with thread. I just put 2 of them, and I think in some countries they use that kind of very thin cotton. That is also useful. Important is that the quality is good. But this is what actually I use mostly for my mochilas, and I do recommend this one. It is easier to use. So for this project, I am going to use these 4 colors, and I am going to show you step by step how do you start a mochila from the magic ring, and how do you start the 12 increase base, and also how do you start the pattern. And slowly I will explain to you where to place the increases on each row, so you will end up with the right design and not the distorted one. Okay, so let's start. So from the design you can see that the base color is yellow. So I will actually start with a yellow color for the magic circle. If you are a total beginner, you just have to wrap the yarn around your fingers, and then yarn under and pull up 1 loop, then get this yarn on the other side and do a chain. So this is a magic circle. Probably you know how to do that, but just wanted to explain. So I am working with 12 increases. You can start with 12 stitches, but you will have a certain hole. So we start for the 12 increases, we start first with 6 stitches, and then on the next coming round I will do 2 stitches in 1 stitch, so I will double it. Just follow me step by step and you will understand. Apart from this, I am also going to use 12 markers. I don't do this usually, I just use 1 marker to put it at the first increase that I do, but I will put 12 markers just so you can understand better what I am doing and what I am saying. You don't have to use 12 markers. This is just for you to see and to understand better, so I can explain better. You just need 1 probably for the first increase, and then that's it. That's what I usually do. Okay, so let's start. So as I told you, we will start with 6 stitches at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once I do this 6, I will pull the yarn, Probably I left too much yarn. Usually I don't leave that much. And pull it. Another thing you have to know that in mochilas you usually go in spiral, so the end of one round never meets up with the beginning. In mochilas we work with a back loop only, so insert the hook right here at the back loop, right here. This is where I will insert the hook. Back loop, and again the next one here, back loop. I hope you can see, and again here, back loop. So once I finish the magic circle with the first round, I will insert the other colors. I will put them all together in the same level. Put all the other 3 yarns between the yarn. Insert the hook here. Put the loop in the right place. And now we can start the second round. The yarn has to be between the hook and the moving yarn here. So insert the hook at the back loop right here of the first stitch. Like this. Yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through. So we did 1 single crochet, back loop only. So in the same place we are going to do 1 more single crochet, of course just back loop. So now we have 2 stitches here. I'm not gonna put the markers yet, I will put them on the other round. So what I did at the first stitch, I'm gonna do in all the others. So the next stitch, again, insert the hook, back loop, yarn under and pull through, and single crochet. And again in the same place, 1 more single crochet, the same way as we did the previous. So I did in the first stitch 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, second stitch 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, so I will just continue like this. So at the end of the second round I will have 12 stitches. Once you do a couple of stitches like this, you have to check the back. You have a lot of yarn left over here. If I were you, I will pull them a little bit. Of course I will leave some, but I don't want to leave this much. So I will leave just some, and then the white, I will pull them one by one. In the same time, massage them a little bit. So I'm just going to do what I did for these 3 stitches. I will do the same for the next 3. I will check the back, because maybe sometimes you will have colors popping up like this and you have to pull that popped up color, pull it a little bit, turn it, and then massage. At the end of round 2 I have 12 stitches, so this is actually where we are going to start putting the markers, because I will have 12 increases, which means that one section of the pattern is going to be repeated 12 times. So once I finish the second round, here actually this corresponds to the first round on the pattern. So now we have 12 stitches, which means we are going to do 12 petals. So one pattern of 1 increase is going to be repeated 12 times. So now I will start round number 3 for my work, but actually is round number 2 in the pattern. So round number 2 we have on each yellow stitch 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. So this is where actually we are starting to see the increases. I will insert the hook at the first stitch and I will do 2 stitches in the same stitch. So here I started to do the first increase. So these are 2 stitches for my first increase, where I am going to put a sign so you can see how it works. So these 2 stitches, these 2 first stitches that I did corresponds to 1 increase. So I'm going to put 1 sign, 1, 2. So now I'm going to do the second stitch here, which is the second increase. So again, I will do 2 single crochet back loop only in 1 stitch. 1 and 2 stitches in the same place. So this is my second increase. Again, I will put 1 sign. I don't recommend you do this, but if you are a beginner and this helps you, you can do it. I'm just doing this for the purpose of explaining to you much more in details and you understand better probably. Here we are, second increase. I will check in the back because sometimes I have colors popping which I don't have. I will continue for the third stitch. Again, 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. I'm just gonna do the same for each stitch. 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, and the first single crochet that I did, I will always put 1 marker. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 increases. So here it is. So as you can see, we have 1 marker and 2 stitches corresponding to 1 marker, because now we start to do the increases. So I have 12 markers, I have 12 increases, I will have the pattern repeated 12 times. So now I'm going to start the pattern. This is what I am going to repeat over and over until for 12 times. So for the next round, the pattern starts with green. So it's 1 green stitch and 2 white stitches. We have 1 increase. For this petal, the increase is going to be placed not in the first stitch but in the second stitch of 1 section. So we will place the increase not in the first stitch but in the second one. We will start with green, which means that the last stitch I have to close with green, not with yellow. I had to first explain to you. Let me suggest you, once you start working with different colors, you better yarn over and pull through, so you will have a straight pattern. Otherwise your pattern will tend to go on the right. I have a tutorial for that, which I explain everything in details. You can find that tutorial up here. So now I am going to start the pattern for the first increase. This is my first increase, okay? For the first petal. Here is 1 pattern, these 2. So I will take out the sign. So the first stitch, 1 green stitch, and I will close with white. And now the pattern, as you can see, is 2 white stitches. And of course you are going to ask, how can I put 2 stitches where I have just 1 stitch? Well, here we do the increase for the pattern. Right here I will do 2 white stitches in 1 stitch. Here I will put the increase for round number 3, and I will close with green because I start again the same pattern. So the pattern starts with green, so I have to close this 2 with green. So this is the pattern, and I will put here my marker right here. So I did the pattern for the first increase. First petal is going to be this way. So now I will repeat this pattern. First stitch, 1 green stitch, second stitch, 2 white stitches in 1 stitch. So I will repeat again this for the second increase, for the second marker. So take out the second marker. First stitch, 1 green stitch, close with white, second stitch, 2 white stitches in 1 stitch, 1 and 2. The second I will close with green because the pattern will be repeated again and it starts with green. Check the back if you have any colors popping. In this case, no color is popping. I will put back the marker right here at the first stitch of the increase of the petal of the pattern. So what I did here, this pattern, I will repeat for all the markers one by one. You're going to end up like this. At the end of round number 3, you will have 36 stitches. So we are going to start round number 4. So the pattern for one section is 1 stitch green and 3 stitches white. The increase I will put at the second stitch right here. So where I have the green stitch, I will keep doing the green stitch, because from the pattern you see that that is a straight line. So from the pattern, from the picture, you can see that there are 2 increases here, and they go on top of the second stitch, which is the first white stitch. So just keep going with that flow and do the increase there. You don't have to put the increase in other place. So I will take out the sign for the first section, and I will do the pattern. So the pattern for one section for round number 4 is going to be first stitch, 1 green stitch, and I will close with white. Second stitch, 2 white stitches in 1 stitch. So the second stitch I will do 2 white stitches, 1 and again 2. So I placed the increase right at the second stitch now. And the third stitch, 1 white stitch. Check the back if you have any color popping. No. And I will close with green, because I will start the pattern for the second section, which is the same pattern as the first section. So this is the pattern for one section. First stitch, 1 green stitch, second stitch, 2 white stitches, third stitch, 1 white stitch. And I will repeat this pattern 11 more times. Let me put back the sign at the first stitch and take out the sign for the second section, and I will do this pattern again here. Once in a while you can take out all the markers and put your work down and massage, because like this it will help to have a flat bottom. So I will put here back the second marker at the first stitch of the second section. So it's easy, right? So this pattern I will repeat another 10 times. I did this 2 times in here, so I will repeat 10 more times until the last increase here. So now I will start round number 5. The pattern for round number 5 is 1 green and 4 white. So the first green stitch I will just do 1 green stitch. The first white stitch I will do 1 white stitch, but at the second white stitch I will do 1 increase. So I will do 2 white increases. So in one section the increase is going to be placed at stitch number 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's do the pattern for one section. First stitch, 1 green stitch, always back loop, single crochet. I will close with white because the next stitch is white. And then the second stitch, 1 white stitch, the third stitch, 2 white stitches, and 2, so I'm placing the increase here, and the fourth stitch, 1 white stitch. This the fourth stitch we have to close with green because the pattern starts with green, so we have to close with green. So So this is the pattern for one section, and the increase is made at the stitch number 3. So we are just going to repeat this pattern 11 more times. Of course, once in a while you check the back if you have any colors popping, and actually I don't have here, but it's best to check. If you see that there are colors popping and it's becoming too ruffly, then you have to pull those colors, that yarn that is popping. And then once you pull the yarn, you have to put it down and then massage. But you will see this in other rounds where we go bigger, because there you can see the tendency of the bottom cupping. So you have to massage and put the stitches in place. So you will have your work like this. So the pattern for round number 6, 2 green stitches, 3 white stitches, and then 1 green stitch, 2 green stitches, first stitch green, second stitch green, and then we have 3 white stitches. So we are going to do the increase rather here at the 3rd stitch or rather here at the 4th stitch. You can do both, I think, and it won't distort the pattern. So first stitch, 1 green stitch, second stitch, 1 green stitch again, so we have 2 green stitches. I will close with white, then I will do the increase in stitch number 3. Okay, I will do it here because the effect is that these 2 stitches run they go in the petal, so I need the increase from the beginning to push them a little bit on the right. So I will do the increase right here. So I will have 2 white stitches here in 1 stitch, 1 stitch and 2 stitches. So I will do the increase right here. Then I have 1 more white stitch, which I will do at the next stitch. And then I will close with white because we have green stitches to do. And at the next stitch I will do 1 green stitch, and I will again close with green because the pattern continues with green. So this is how it is going to be, the pattern for the first section. Check the back if you have any colors popping. The pattern for section number 2 is just going to be the same as the pattern for section 1, and we are just going to repeat this pattern all over. So I have finished round number 6 and I will start the pattern for round number 7. So let's take out the sign for the first section. So if you read the pattern from the graph, you will see that the pattern for round number 7 is 2 green stitches with a dark green, 1 green stitch, the light green, and then 2 white stitches, and then 1 light green stitch, and then 1 dark green stitch. So we have to do 7 stitches in 6 stitches. Underneath we have 6 stitches, so we have to do 1 increase. The increase, I will put it at the second white stitch. So those 2 white stitches, I will do them right here on top. So we will have the petal in the right shape. 2 dark green stitches. So I will do the first 1 green stitch and then the second green stitch. And this time I will close with a light green because the pattern continues with light green. And then the pattern is 1 light green stitch. So the next stitch I will do 1 white green, which I will close with white because the pattern continues with white. And then, as I told you, I am going to do the increase. So I have to pull a little bit in the green, the light green. Then I'm going to do the increase. The increase is going to be right here at the second white stitch. These 2 white stitches I'm just going to do right here at the center of the second white stitch. So 1 white stitch, and again the second white stitch I will do it in the same place. I'm doing the increase here, and I will close with a light green because the pattern follows with light green. For me, the best thing to work is 10 increases. But if you do like really big patterns for the bottom, then it's better if you go with 12 increases, because you are going to expand, so you need more stitches. So the pattern follows one light green stitch, which I will do in the next stitch. I will do one light green. I will close with dark green. And then the pattern continues. One dark green stitch. And I will continue with a dark green stitch, closing, because the pattern follows with one dark green stitch. So we started the pattern from here and we finished here. This is the pattern for round number 7 for one section. So this pattern we are just going to keep repeating all around for another 11 sections. So I will put back the sign for section number 1, and then I will take out the sign for section number 2, and I will do the same pattern. So it's going to look like this. And now we're ready to start the pattern for round number 8. Let's take out the sign, the marker for the first section. The pattern for one section is 1 dark green stitch and 7 light green stitches. We have one increase here because we have 8 stitches all in total, but in the previous section we have 7 stitches, so we have to do one increase. This increase you can put it anywhere because it won't distort your design, but I would put it rather to the first white stitch or to the second white stitch. I would put it one of these two. It's just my preference, because I see that 2 stitches on top, they go perfectly with 1 stitch on the bottom. So I would put it in the first one, or you can put it in the second one, but I think it won't distort your design even if you put it in other stitches. Let me just show you what I'm gonna do, and I will guide you step by step. 1 dark green stitch, which I will close with light green. And don't worry that here you have 2 green stitches, one after the other one. It doesn't make any big impact once you have finished all. Okay, so the pattern continues. 7 light green stitches. So I will do the next stitch, 1 light stitch, 1 light green stitch, the third stitch, 1 light green stitch, the fourth stitch, which is I can do the increase rather here or here, so I will do the increase here. So the fourth stitch I will do 2 light green stitches, and then for the rest, the 5th, the 6th and the 7th, I will just do 1 light green stitch on each of them. So for the next 3 stitches, 1 light green stitch on top of them. So the 5th stitch, 1 light green stitch, the 6th stitch, 1 light green stitch, the 7th stitch, 1 light green stitch, but this one actually, first I will check the back if I have any color popping. I think the green one is a little bit, so I will pull a little bit the colors, the yarns from the back. Okay, and then I will close with a dark green because the pattern starts with dark green. Okay, so this is the pattern that we will continue for all the rest of 11 sections that we have. So let me put back the sign at the first stitch of the first section. So the first stitch is right here. So let's take out the marker for the second section and let's repeat the same pattern. Your pattern is going to look like this, more or less. And now I have round number 9, which is a total round with the light green. So still you have to do one increase, and you can do that increase wherever you feel like. So I will just take out the marker and I will start to do for the pattern for round number 9. So as we said, round number 9 is a total is one color. And we have for round number 9, 9 light green stitches. So right here in the middle, I will do the increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4. At the fourth one I will do the increase, which means I will do one more here, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is how it is going to look like. Check the back because I have actually some green that I need to pull. Okay, so this is how the pattern is going to look like, and you just keep working like this. For each section you do 9 stitches and you do 1 increase until all around. You can see here actually that this one is a little bit different from the pattern here, but I think it's still nice. Okay guys, so here is how it is going to look like once I finished the 9th round, and I took out all the other markers just so you can see, and I left the first one. So you have an idea now how to do the increases and where to place them, and I think that the best way to learn is by practicing. Once you do it once, twice, 3 times, and then you will know by instinct where to place them. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for you, and I hope you are going to give this video a thumbs up on your way out, and I will see you on my next one. Tschüss!